Good evening, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. We have some incredible good news to tell you about our friend Michael, who is still in the hospital. He has dengue, and that's a serious thing, and we had some in and out, on and off, yes and no, undecided situations, but now he has agreed. He's gone back into the hospital. He's got a private room, which is really a private room. It's just him in the room, and his numbers yesterday his numbers were up to 50. Remember, we made the joke that he was 50, and that meant that his number of platelets was 50. Now it's really important. We've had lots of information. Thank you very much for everybody who has messaged with information about dengue and about platelets. Platelets are coursing around. They're little particles, if you like, that are coursing around, swimming in our bloodstream, and they rush to the scene of any accident within the body, without the body, where they are needed to form a scab and stop you from bleeding to death, is probably the most graphic way that I can describe it. So your platelets need to be at 150,000. That's what we're finding. Anything over 450,000 is a condition, and anything below 150 is another condition. And at the moment he is only at, I think, 57. Now it does mean that there's a gradual increase, so we're very happy to do that. Now the moment that he reaches, say, I would like to see him, as I told him when I saw him today, I would like to see him reach 150,000 platelets. That will be the number which he could walk out the door and know that he was going to be okay. So what's the good news? The good news is that his situation of being here and needing to get to New Zealand, right? Now his situation in New Zealand, without spilling out his private life all over the internet, is he needs to get back to New Zealand to help Bonnie, his wife, who he loves dearly, to get through the bureaucratic mess that is happening over there. Let's face it, you can pretty well bank on the fact that if bureaucracy is involved, it becomes very, very heavy going, and it is heavy going there. He decided that he would have to get back. Now he's getting back for several reasons. Obviously, in New Zealand the medical care is free, plus it would be far in advance of that little hospital that he is in right now in our little town of Talabong. So he would be in much safer hands, and he would probably go straight to the hospital and be checked up and do whatever is needed, right? Well, a guardian angel emerged and has pledged to buy him his ticket back to New Zealand, and that is through a dear friend who has stepped up and said, the ticket's on me. So he's good for that, but he needs to get well. Now for me personally, I really couldn't be doing with being separated from my wife. I'm very happily married, and so is Michael. I couldn't do the long distance thing. Now Bonnie felt that she had to go back in order to get things sorted out, and she's been back, I think, at least 4 months, maybe 5, and Michael doesn't handle that. Now can't criticize him, because I wouldn't be able to handle it. I need to be with my lady, and that's the way that it is. And and I would never agree to having a separation. It wouldn't work for me. So he is obviously not dealing with that well, and he would be the first to tell you that he's not dealing with it well, and he wants to go back to get things sorted out. Not just that, not just the medical, but to be reunited with Bonnie. And their love story is something that is the subject of a video that we made some time ago. He met Bonnie, who is a Filipina, in New Zealand, and she was there at the time, and met him through friends. So he hadn't, very much like me, he had no intention of, he wasn't looking to get married, and was quite happily living alone at that time. But now he's had the joys of living with a loving Filipina, and being alone is not something he wants to do anymore. Now, another angel has emerged on the other side and has offered to spring for the ticket for Bonnie to come here and get Michael. So my assessment is that if she comes here, his platelets will certainly take a steep rise, and he should be well much sooner, because Bonnie will be here. I know that would work for me. So not quite sure how all of this is going to unfold, but that's the situation. They are being helped to be together, and then she is going to accompany him back to New Zealand. So that's all going to be coordinated, and we're looking forward to being able to give this good news at a later date. It's great. People are wonderful. People step up at the most unexpected times and make things happen, don't they? So this is a foreigner in the Philippines. Stay tuned, as they used to say, and we'll be keeping you updated on what's happening with the Bonnie and Michael love story. Bye for now.